Julia Carolyn Child was born on the 15th of August 1912 in Pasadena, California. Her father graduated from Princeton University and became a prominent land manager, while her mother was the daughter of a lieutenant governor of Massachusetts. From 4th grade, Julia attended Polytechnic School in the city of Pasadena till she got to her 9th grade. She grew up in a family where almost everyone was a good cook, taking the art of cooking as a hobby. However, Julia was never interested in cooking. Other activities piqued her fancy, not cooking. Shortly after she graduated from college, she relocated to New York City. There, she began chasing a career in writing. Years before she completed college, Julia had dreamed to become a respected novelist, so she started chasing this dream after her graduation. Unfortunately, her ambition to build a career in literature never worked out. Despite the efforts she put into it, everything kept going sideways. Later on, Julia realized that being a novelist or a literary writer was never something she could do. After working as a copywriter for an advertising agency, she met and fell in love with Paul, whom she eventually married. While preparing for marriage, Julia knew she had to be a good cook to make an admirable wife. While growing up as a child, she never learned to cook, but as an adult who was about getting married, things had to change. Julia signed up for a bride-to-be cooking class weeks before her wedding. Despite the tutorial, the first meal she prepared for her husband was terribly bad. Julia wasn't deterred by this. Rather, she was determined to keep learning until she gained mastery over the art of cooking. In 1950, she sat for a cooking examination which she failed wholly. Paul, her husband, had to support her at the time. He encouraged her to stop attending cooking classes and start learning independently with popular recipes. Months after intensive practice, Julia became a better cook, but she didn't stop at becoming better. She wanted to be exceptional. Later on, Julia eventually became amazing at cooking after realizing that she had the potential to become a great cook. She went beyond just cooking for her home and made it a career. She became a professional chef who inspired and taught other women as well. In the late 1950s, Julia wrote a cookbook titled Mastery of the Art of French Cooking. While trying to publish, she faced rejections from several publishers, but in 1961, the book was successfully published, becoming a point of reference to this day. A lot of people have lived their entire life without knowing what they could have become. They have spent years in the pursuit of something that is not theirs instead of discovering and utilizing their potentials. You must identify your potential and make use of it in becoming great in life. Otherwise, you may continue to languish in the struggle. Joyce Meyer said, "Potentials is a priceless treasure like gold. All of us have gold hidden within, but we have to dig to get it out." Just like gold hidden underneath the earth, no human in this world doesn't have potential, and that includes you. You have a potential that is hidden on the inside of you. Your sole duty is to search and discover it. The earlier you do, the quicker your success would arrive. Picablo Street said, "To uncover your true potential, you must first find your own limits, and then you must have the courage to blow past them." If you don't start working towards exceeding your limits, then you are not prepared to find your potential. Staying within a particular limited space will prevent you from reaching the heights you've been predestined for. You must move beyond your limits to discover your potential. Philip Arnold said, "Your inner potential can't develop without your willingness and conscious participation. There is no way your potential can be uncovered if you are not willing to make it happen." Apart from being willing, there are certain conscious and intentional steps that you must take before you can discover that potential. Julia Carolyn Child discovered her potential as a great chef despite the initial failures. Discover your potential today, just as Julia did.